All right. What's up, everybody? Um, so in this video, pretty much I wanted to discuss some of the laws of trading, right? And this is just pretty much like a straightforward cut video. Um, I've been recently working with a couple mentees in my mentorship who seem to not actually understand the mental framework that it takes to actually gain consistent profits, right? So it's just a couple of things that I decided to jot down that actually I feel like has helped me over the years. As most of you know, I've been trading since 2018, since I've been in my PhD program. Um, from there, I've gained a bunch of experience in this game. And it's just understanding that when you're playing a game, there's always rules, there's always parameters, right? Whether it's basketball, whether it's football. And when you violate those rules, um, there's a penalty, right? Or a foul call, right? And sometimes the ejection, right? Sometimes a technical, right? Um, so just in the psychology of this whole trading game and in this niche, you have to understand the parameters that it takes for you to be successful in this game. And that's coming with, understanding and wisdom that this game is 90% psychology, right? You being able to understand the technicals, being able to understand Fibonacci, candlesticks, major market patterns, even news, right? All of that aligns and resides in the 10%. But the psychology of how you have to manage your mindset, manage your relationship with the charts, and also manage how you go about things, which is going to be your workflow, right? Um, Supersedes anything else, right? And that workflow is pretty much your order of operations, right? When you think about mathematics. So in this video, that's exactly what, I just want to give you all some underlining instruction and some guidance when it comes to just your approach when it comes to the charts, right? I'm not telling you how you should think. I'm not telling you how you should go about things. But I do want to be a beacon for those who need game when it comes to this. And I give my mentees a lot of my game and my mentorships. And for those who have, you know, underwent my mentorship, like they understand this workflow and they understand this mindset that they had to adopt over time, right? And this will set you out on a great path, right? So I just recently just came up with like pretty much like 10 things that I feel like every trader should know and should have as laws that they abide by when it comes to how they actually interact with the market. Okay. And like I said, this is going to be the laws of trading, the psychology behind gaining consistent profits. Okay. So the first one I feel like you have to have is a realistic trading plan, right? You have to have a realistic trading plan when it comes to this. And when I say a realistic trading plan, that actually means that you understand what your goal is and what you're aiming at first and foremost when it comes to this trading game, right? And how you plan to attack the profits, the goal, and the pair that you're actually trading, right? So what is going to be the pair that I'm trading, right? What is my normal pip ratio, right? Or risk to reward ratio, right? What am I trying to get out of this market? Like far as like lot size wise, how do I plan on going about my lot size? How do I plan on going about the trades that I take per week? What do I need to identify before I begin to even expose my account and interact with the account? Right. So what's my plan? And I know a lot of people, excuse me, a lot, excuse me, a lot of people will be like, yeah, well, I need, this amount of pips. I need this, I need that. But you want it to be detailed, right? To the point of you understand, like, okay, my starting balance is let's say $1,000 and I plan on gaining it to $10,000. What is that roadmap going to look like? Right? And how am I going to plan for the worst things to happen to still get to my goal? Right? Because it's not going to be a smooth ride to 10K, as most of you know. Right? It's going to come with win streaks. It's going to come with lose streaks. It's going to come with um just understanding that it's going to be even consolidation periods within your trading plan where it's like, damn, I'm winning 3 trades, then I'm losing 3 trades. I'm winning 2 trades, but then I'm losing 2 trades. You know what I mean? And that's where you have to have these underlying principles in your trading plan to be able to think outside of yourself. And that's why I always recommended writing it down, right? Because it's a different relationship mentally when you actually put things on paper versus just saying it, right? How are you going to tackle the emotions when you're in profit and then the market comes back and you're back at break even, right? Or even back in drawdown, right? But things are still remaining in structure for what your goal is, right? For that trade. Like just all of these underlying things that you need to make sure that are clear and concise when it comes to you even approaching the charts. What's going to be your time session? Right? What's going to be my underlying stop loss that I'm going to be comfortable with trusting, understanding the keywords, comfortable with trusting, even when it comes to the lot size. What lot size am I going to be comfortable with starting out to make sure that I'm unbiased in how I'm actually going about my trading plan and my workflow, right? So that's the first thing. Just be realistic with yourself, right? Don't make this about what you're seeing on Instagram or what you're seeing other people do. Like understand this is a solitude type of journey, right? So it's you in the charts. You don't need anybody else. You don't need to be, going to anybody about, what they're catching or what their bias is or letting those that type of information process and seep into your subconscious because that can sway actually how you go about things, right? So you want to make sure that you're realistic and you're comfortable, right? And you have something to aim at, right? Um, Understand your workflow, right? So understand for you, right, based on how you learned how to trade and how you learned how to profit and what you've seen, how you've seen yourself be successful with trading, right? What does that look like for you? What type of setups does that look like for you? Right? What does your workflow look like when you first get on the charts? You know what I mean? Are you starting from the highest time frame and working your way down so you can see the bigger picture, right? Are you understanding how structure plays a part on every time frame and structure comes first, right? Like what are your order of operations when it comes to how you're interacting and looking for your entries and also looking for your exits and also taking your money off of the table, right? And even when that comes to paying yourself, right? What does that workflow actually look like? Right. So that's a big thing when it comes to traders is just understanding what is going to be my workflow that I'm comfortable. Remember the key word comfortable with to where I can gain consistent profits and also see consistency on the chart. Right. The next one is going to be keeping your margin keeps you in the game, right? So that's going to be the third thing. Keeping your margin keeps you in the game. So understanding that even when you're on these win streaks, or even when you're starting off with that initial account balance, right? Not over positioning, right? Not scaling in just to be scaling in because you have something going on in your regular life, or you need the money now to pay a bill, or just because you feel like trading, right? Your over position size, or because you taking a string of losses, right? Like that account, that account might be from $1,000 to $650, $550, right? And then not having the emotional regulation and emotional control to understand like, okay, that money's gone. I have to trade from where I'm at now, right? So what's going to be my plan with this $500 to grow it from where I'm at now, right? So understanding your margin and everything based on the account size that you're trading at. And even when you get to the 10K, right? How am I going to work out my margin at that point to be able to grow it from 10K to 20, 30, 50K, right? So having a plan in place and being able to see the vision vividly, right, to understand how you can remain comfortable, right, keyword comfortable, in how you're going about things, right? So keeping that margin, right, making sure that it's not going below 200%, right? So you always can live to trade tomorrow. You always can exit and re-enter the market when there's another opportunity, because that's what you want to be able to give yourself in this game is opportunities, right? Opportunities plus skill, right, equals profits. That's all it is. And being able to manage the in between, right? So you want to make sure you keep that margin alive, right? Number four, just realizing that structure always comes first, right? What we draw on here on the chart, as far as these random lines and tested candles and breaks and even Fibonacci and, trend lines and things like that, right? You want to make sure that you understand that the only thing that we cannot control is structure. That's outside of our control, right? Everything else that we draw on the charts is man-made. So that means there is a percentage of error that can occur, right? Structure is not going to lead you wrong, right? So no matter what time frame you're on or no matter how you're going about things, the first thing that has to be on your mind is structure, right? How is structure playing out, right? What point of emphasis am I at? Am I at an entry base point based on whatever trend that I'm in, right? Is structure telling me that I need to be more patient, or is structure telling me that this is an entry opportunity, right? And based on previous price and my previous experience with the markets, how can I now produce my workflow to go about this, right? So just understand that structure always comes first, and structure will save you. Structure will save you from a lot of BS, a lot of BS and a lot of headaches, right? And a lot of so-called being faked out, right? So just understanding structure always comes first, right? Um, Make your technicals your best friend, right? That's going to be the next thing. Make your technicals your best friend. You draw your technicals on there to give you an edge. So understand that. And you have to utilize that edge, right, to get the best risk to reward possible, right? So even if I'm on the charts here, right, and I draw this random line here, right, I'm going to utilize this random line. I'm not just drawing it here, right, and then I'm making entries up here in this area. I'm drawing this here because this is the lowest point, right, that structure made support. And once I seen that it has been tested repeatedly, one, two, three times, right, and then I can use confluence with candlestick patterns, right? And understanding momentum just based off my wisdom to actually gain entries along my technicals, right? Along my random line. Not once it's all the way up here past my random line, because I want the best risk to reward possible, right? So that's what I mean. Same thing up here, right? If I draw a resistance line, I want to make sure that my entries are based on the confluence that I have around my technicals, which is going to be my random line. I'm not going to be waiting all the way up in here to gain entries, right? But I'm going to make sure that I'm entering at the highest place possible and having that confidence in my technical once the market shows me that it's respected and I have confluence around it, right? So that comes with wisdom, that comes with time, right? But you practicing making plays and making entries off of your technicals is only going to help you in the long run, far as confidence, far as better risk to reward. Okay. The next one is going to be, don't justify losses. It is what it is, right? And that goes back to what I said earlier, right? You might start off with $1,000 account, and let's just say your first couple trades were kind of sloppy, right? And if they were kind of sloppy, then okay, that account might be at 650, 550, right? But you have to have the emotional regulation, right? And the self-control to let that go, right? Because you have to be able to keep analyzing. You have to be able to live the trade again, and you have to work from where you're at. And that can coincide with just where you're at in life, right? Whether it's a bad breakup, whether you lost a job, whether things aren't going your way, right? You have to be able to reprogram yourself to work from where you are today, where you're at presently and currently, right? Because that's how you're going to get back on track and get to the goals that you want to get to, right? But if you get all emotional and out of whack about, oh, I had 1,000 and now I'm at $500, you might end up over margin, using too much margin, right? And now you might blow the account, or your broker might end up, repositioning you or even taking you out the trade in some cases, just because of the fact that you weren't able to realize where you're at right now and be a mature trader and go about things how you need to go about them as far as your workflow to get back to where you were, right? Because the money hasn't gone anywhere. The money is still in the market, right? For you to grab. You just have to put yourself in position to grab that again, right? So yeah, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Don't justify your losses. It's one thing to be able to analyze and see what you did wrong, right? So that way you can be better moving forward. But it's another thing to let it get to you to where it takes you out the game mentally, or it ends up putting you in a position where you can't even play the game. And now you got to sit on the sidelines. And when you're sitting on the sidelines, you're missing opportunities, right? You're missing opportunities. So there's no room for you to show your skill because you're sitting on the bench, right? And you're watching somebody else do their thing at that point, right? So maintain the type of psychology that you need and remember to stay present in this trading game, right? The next one is going to be build cushion. And you always hear me talk about the growth mindset, right? So you want to make sure that you're building cushion. And even with that initial investment capital, you want to make sure that your first 3 trades are quality trades, right? Good risk to reward ratios, 1 to 4, 1 to 5, 1 to 7. You know what I mean? Because that's going to produce the cushion, right? That puts you in a whole different mental space and a whole different psychology on how you're going about things and getting closer to that aim and to that goal, right? Because now you didn't put yourself in a position to where you don't even have to use your initial investment capital, right? Because you have all this cushion on top of it. So now moving forward, you could trade based off of the cushion that you have versus having to chance and expose your initial investment capital. Excuse me. So build cushion first. Let that be the mindset. I just want to grow. I just want to grow, right? I just want to grow. I want to have quality trades, and I want to put myself in a position where I'm not using my initial investment capital, right? That's the first thing. The next one is going to be construct an operating system with defense mechanisms, right? And that ties back into your trading plan, right? So when the worst case scenario happens and your stop loss gets hit and things like that, have things in place that keep your mental on point, whether that's going to hit the gym, right? Whether that's, getting off the charts for an hour or two, or waiting until a new day, waiting until 6 o'clock for a new day to start before you start analyzing again, right? But you have to have defense mechanisms. And if you've taken my courses, if you came to my in-persons, if you've done my one-on-one mentorship, you understand that defense mechanisms help keep you in check, right? It helps keep you in check, right? So think about it like a racehorse with blinders, right? It keeps you focused on the goal. You're not looking to the left, you're not looking to the right, but you're actually focused on the goal because your defense mechanisms are the blinders, right? So think about what that means to you and think about how you can actually apply that to, your trading journey and just your trading plan overall, right? Because like I said, it's 90% psychology, man. And you want to make sure that you're staying in the game to give yourself opportunities. The next one is going to be construct a profit ladder that is obtainable based on your skill level, right? So construct a profit ladder that is obtainable based on your skill level. And what that means is basically like, yo, if I'm starting out, like, yeah, my TP might be at previous resistance, or, you know what I mean? I might want to catch this trade, but at the same time, right? You want to put yourself in a position where it's like, okay, my profit ladder might be, in my trading plan that I want to make $500 5 times, right? And be able to withdraw something, right? After that, I want to be able to make $750 or more 5 times, right? And then withdraw something, right? And then after that, I want to be able to make $1,000 or more, right? And then withdraw something, right? So what that's doing is not having you overexpose your account. It's not having you hold trades longer than you need to, right? And it's making sure that you're remaining, once again, keyword, comfortable on the charts. And you're doing the most important thing that it is when it comes to trading. And that's what? Taking your money off of the table, profiting, right? Creating that habit of gaining profits, right? You might be like, oh yeah, because I hear so many traders all the time, like, oh yeah, man, like, you know, I had $500, but then I let it retrace all the way back to me. Yeah, but you're working a 9 to 5. You made more on the charts in 3 hours than you would make at your job all day. So why aren't you taking that money off of the table? Right? So be realistic with yourself, right? And create that ladder for yourself so you can create these great habits for yourself as well. All right. And my last one is just you want to make sure that you pace yourself at the end of the day, right? Because remember, the turtle won the race at the end of the day, right? You want to make sure that you're taking your time, right? Slow motion is better than no motion, right? And things are going to take time in this trading game. That's why everybody says patience pays, right? Patience is key, right? Let things play out, right? But in order to let things play out, you once again, keyword, have to be comfortable in your position size and what you're seeing as far as your workflow, right? And then being comfortable as in maintaining the trade. But if you're not doing those three things, then you're not going to be comfortable in the mindset to actually let things flow. Be patient, right? Being picky and choosy when it comes to your trades, right? Having quality trades, right? And just having a quality experience when it comes to how you're interacting with the market and your relationship with your pair at all. So you want to make sure that patience is key, man. Like you want to make sure that you're taking your time with everything because the last thing you want to do is build bad habits that have you stuck in cycles to where, you're blowing accounts, or you're actually uh paying over and over for funded accounts, paying over. You might pass the two phases, but then as soon as you get the funded account, you blow it and got to start all over. Or you can never get to your first payout because you blow it and then have to start all over. I see these problems all the time. You know what I mean? I help people get past these problems all the time in my mentorships, right? I help people get their first payouts all the time. But these are the cycles that we have to unlearn and then learn good habits and great habits in order for them to see success and achieve these things that they want to achieve, right? So this is just, like I said, a video that I wanted to share with you all. Because I feel like it's a key component of being a successful trader, right? And also the psychology of actually having consistent profits, right? But you have to have laws in place. It's an absolute must that you have laws in place, So just think about those things. Like, share, give feedback if possible. I hope you all found this video actually helpful, and can use it in your trading journey going forward. Other than that, I wish everybody well.